Welcome back here to Full Throttle. I'm your host, Jables, joined with K-willis.
Yep.
And Michael Cooper, local racing talent. Man. Big
A little bit off right now.
Local racing
good,
talent?
Yeah.
No, come on now.
I don't get that far quite yet.
Come on, I'm just trying to, Carl Edwards, though.
Yeah,
Come on. We have to move
Alright,
on.
I'm sorry. Alright, we're going.
Carl Edwards, Atlanta. Wow.
That's all you can say is wow.
Used his car as a weapon there. But do you think that NASCAR made the right call? Of course, Carl Edwards got into Brad Keselowski. It's pretty obvious that he had the
you see
intention.
those little white gloves.
Little white gloves
Turn to the right.
Turn to the
Total
right.
intentional.
What was interesting, though, is that before that, when that incident first happened, Keselowski didn't give him any room and sent him up the track. Carl Edwards was very generous, I thought, in the interview. He said, looking back at it, it wasn't as malicious as I originally thought. And then
he was planning his revenge right then.
But then 157 laps later, he gets back out on the track, and then with, 2 to go,
Yep.
he
Threw him into the wall.
ended his top 10, top 5 day.
Apparently something changed in that 100 laps.
I know. But do you think NASCAR made the right call? They put Carl Edwards on a 3-race probation. They pretty much said, be nice for 3 races.
To tell you the truth, I think they should have suspended him at least 1 race.
And?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree. I mean, he was taken back. Obviously, he didn't think it was going to fly through the air and fly into the wall. But
Right, yeah.
you could see the lap before. I was watching it before I came over here, and the highlights of it. He tried to catch him the lap before and just missed.
Yeah.
Obviously, something was going on for Edwards to be all wrecked and could run him down.
Right. I actually think that says kudos to the team, though. That they were able to put that car back together and chase down a top 5 car just to wreck him. I mean, that's
the only reason they put it back together, is to go get him out there.
That was probably a big part of it. And I've been in a couple of those situations, and you don't know what kind of finger gestures and all that stuff flying around in there. So there was probably more to the story than what we know, but obviously something has gone on in the past.
Should Keselowski learn to give more while racing? Obviously, he's got the take part down pat, but in racing, is there times where you just have to learn to give a little more?
Probably in the beginning of the race, I would have gave maybe just a tad, but
yeah, of course, with 100 to go, you're
yeah, that wasn't Edwards. Wasn't he was taking a whole bunch right there at the end. He had intentions of doing what he was going to do, and Brad, I don't know. It was just, I'm sure there's more to happen than what we just seen.
Right. But Carl Edwards is a really big guy. We were just talking. He's a really
I don't
big
think
guy.
I'd mess with him if I was in that situation as Brad Keselowski's in right now.
He's like a bodybuilder and everything.
I don't know. Behind the motorhomes, that's what we were just talking about. There ain't no telling what's happened in the past, but I believe nobody wants to mess with Carl.
Is the wing on the back of the car a big safety issue? It seemed like since they put the wing on there, the cars have been getting up in the air a lot more.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a huge safety issue. If you watch that video, you can see the wing bend up, catching so much air from spinning backwards.
You got it up in the...
Yeah, that's what we were talking about in the shop last night, me and a couple of my buddies. Just talking about, I mean, if it pushes down going forward, it's got to do something going backwards.
Yeah, that's what I was telling him in the car at lunch.
It's just like an airplane. And you can see it when this took off. I mean, it's happened 3 or 4 times with different people. So, they probably need to get it off there before they go. Well, they're not going fast enough from now on, until they're going to switch. So, but I believe they learned their lesson.
I think they're going to put on spoilers back in Martinsville, which is 3 weeks away. They've got a whole week off, no racing this week. Just put it on the spoilers.
Just put it on now.
And have it ready for Bristol.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they should. I've talked to a couple people. I know a few people in Charlotte, and they, them talking about they've been testing with it for actually a good little bit. So I mean, there's nothing really new. They just probably should go on and do it and get it.
I mean, they've got this whole week off. They can have it ready and then have all the teams use it at Bristol. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, that's probably the most. Obviously twice cars about flown into the stands. That's not going. It's not going to fix itself.
Right. Yeah. But the biggest question, though, I think is the battle between Edwards and Keselowski over, or is this going to continue?
It's not over. Go ahead and tell you that right now. It's not over.
You think it's just beginning?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's the start of something big that could end in catastrophic. What?
Yeah, that.
Go with it.
Catastrophic. Very well said from K-willis. That's why he's on the show. He has such great things to say. I have those moments too.
That's
you remember I used to do the show by myself.
Yeah,
if I had one of those moments, I'm just sitting here like, man.
Awkward silence. Now we got me to laugh at, so
I'm
you
terrible.
don't have those moments anymore.
I'm terrible. I'm really bad at this. I have no career in NASCAR media whatsoever.
So were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say. Just throw it in there. No, it might be over right now, but they won't forget. I mean, it could be a year from now.
It'll be 3 races until his probation's over. He'll start it back up again.
He might take it easy, but they could be down in Charlotte right now, fist fighting down the park. Nobody know, but...
It's like, by the way, we're going to meet in Charlotte. Nobody's going to be there. I'm going to meet you there.
God forbid they show up at the same restaurant. just breaks loose. But,
oh, there you are. I'm going to come get you now.
That's the beauty of racing.
NASCAR can't protect you here.
Yeah, we ain't got NASCAR around us now.
All right, here's Audio Slave on Full Throttle. I'll be back with more in just a moment. A little AC/DC for you here on Full Throttle. The IZOD IndyCar Series will begin this weekend from Brazil. Can Dario Franchitti defend his title this season for Chip Ganassi? We will just have to wait and see about that, but I think Team Penske this year will be very tough. We will have to wait and see about that. Also, very curious to see how Danica Patrick will race after doing the stock cars. Actually, do you think she'll be able to do it after being...
I don't think so. I mean, like we said last week, you know, you can't just switch over every time. You need to pick one series and go with that.
And stick with it.
What do you guys say?
Yeah, that's what I heard on the interview her, and she said she had trouble when she got back in and wanted to move everything from where she's got used to it. But
yeah,
I don't know. She's probably do this year, but then she probably had to pick one. It's got to be a big difference.
Pick one. Which one do you think she'll have to? Which one do you think she'll wind up going with? I think it'll be NASCAR.
Really, I'm leaning towards the Indy cars.
I don't know. I think that next year when she has to decide,
it depends on what she does better. I bet if she does better in NASCAR, she'll go with NASCAR. And if she does better in IndyCar, she'll go with IndyCar.
We won't see her again until June. Which another thing I think is bad. I think she should have more seat time.
Yeah.
Because now when she comes back in June, she's gonna have to relearn pretty much everything. I think.
Yeah, she's just relearning, and it's not gonna end good.
Yeah. She ain't gonna wind up learning anything.
Exactly. She's gonna learn a little bit. She's gonna stay amateur for the rest of her life.
Here's Aerosmith on Full Throttle.